What's up and welcome to our podcast, Toast to Tea.
We're two friends that love the world of celebrity and pop culture and talking about it with you.
To join our world of celebriTEA, make sure to rate, like, and subscribe to our podcast. Now hit it.
It's about that time.
Wait, where's the Chris Cam?
To say cheers to our world of celebriTEA.
1000%.
They're back together, and it feels just right.
Miss Mika, nice to meet ya.
Raise your glass.
I'm Maddison Hill.
And I'm Courtney Revolution.
Because it's our moment to
Toast to Tea.
Hi, Maddison.
Hi, Courtney. We're finally back.
I know. We literally have our own podcast. How do you feel right now in this very moment?
I actually feel, it feels kind of surreal because I feel like we've been talking about this since literally the beginning of the year. So the fact that we're finally sitting here doing it, I'm like, it's about damn time. Not to quote Lizzo, but it's about damn time.
Girl, we don't even have enough time to get into everything.
I know. I was like, as soon as I did it, I was like, oops, that's okay. That's all right. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so Maddison, for people that are listening to us for the very first time, who are we and why do they care?
Yes, you guys. Hello, we are Courtney and Maddison. I like to say we're a dynamic duo because we are a dynamic duo. We used to work together at our old job on Holly Scoop. You might remember us. That channel is now no more. But the great thing that channel did give is me and Courtney together, and we love spilling celebrity tea. We love giving our opinions. And essentially, if you want to know what the heck is going on and how we feel about it, I feel like our takes are really fun, then you should be subscribing to our podcast right this second.
I agree. I think that our story is one of those situations where it's like, you have like a work friend, but I feel like we don't cross that threshold, and we're now officially friends that now have like our little side project in the garage of like one of our homes,
Exactly. I feel like we went from working for a boss to now we want to be the boss. You know what I mean?
And now we bossing.
And now we're bossing. We were going to secure the bag 2020. That was our last motto. And we haven't stopped that motto. And we're coming in. I know there's 2 months left of 2023, but we're coming in hot.
Maddison Hill, what do you want out of the rest of your year, since you mentioned 2 months?
What do I want out of the rest of my year? I want this podcast to reach everybody, obviously. I'm so happy that we're finally doing it. I also feel like I would love some peace. I feel like I've been going, which is good and so much fun. But I feel like I just want some peace. Would love to keep securing the bag and just keep working and make the most out of these last 2 months of the year.
You know what, Maddison? I like that. I like that a lot. One, I also want the podcast to reach everybody. But I think that sometimes we underestimate how good peace feels.
Yes.
And I want the same for myself. I want the podcast. I want you to listen, whoever's listening right now, to keep listening. And I want to hold on to my peace. And I just want to feel as though I'm healthily productive.
I feel that because I think sometimes we get unhealthily productive. And I also feel like, especially in our area of work, you're constantly comparing yourself to other people. I don't know about, I'm bad about that. I'm bad about I get in my head, I get in the downward spirals. Normally Courtney has to pull me out and be like, Maddison, you are doing fine. You're doing what you should be doing. You're doing all of the things. But I feel like it's easy to kind of get in that bad headspace. And so I like what you said about being productive, productive to the best of our ability, but not to where we're killing ourselves, because I feel like we need to leave that trend behind. It's just not worth it. Life's too short.
I agree. And you know what? I think it's good to have a balance of productivity and fun. So in case you guys don't know, I'm Courtney and I was on the reality show, The Circle. Last night, Maddison, there was a benefit, a reality TV show benefit for Give Kids the World. And they give money to terminally ill children at the Give Kids the World Village. And it was a whole entire lip sync battle. So Team The Circle went up there and they performed.
Wait, were you on the team?
Madison, I was not on the team. I was Regina George's mom in the audience, filming, screaming, hollering, tipsily, and just enjoying myself. And I brought it up to say, Maddison, it was really good to take a pause because, we've been working hard lately. It was good to take a pause and just be out amongst my friends, my peers, and for them to just give the same love back that I give out to them.
Yes.
You know, I love seeing the people light up when I see them. Like when I see you, I always get like so like, Maddison. Like I loved that people felt the same way about me. So shout out to my reality peers.
There's no better feeling. And for those of you who don't know, Courtney and I are both Tauruses, which is partially why we also get along so well. But I feel like Tauruses, we give so much to the people we love. We give so much to our friendships. And it's so rewarding when you get that back. I feel like Tauruses also don't like mess with people who don't give it back. But it's nice to always have that confirmation. Because I will say, and as I've matured over the years, if you're not giving it back to me, I don't have time for you because I give too much. You know what I mean? And I like it that way. I like being generous with my time and my love and my caring. But I just want to make sure I'm giving it to people who are going to be there for me in those times too. And I feel like we're good about that. You know what I mean? And there's no greater feeling when you're in that environment and you're like, this is it. These people rock. Look at me. I know how to pick them. You know what I mean? You're there cheering them on. You know when to be the cheerleader, when to be the star. Like, I just feel like all of the things. And also, we do love an adult beverageino, which I feel like for people who don't know us, I feel like we should clarify that. Courtney and I, this episode we're keeping it cute, but we will be pulling out adult beverages here and there. I'm a Shams girl.
I love tequila, a margarita, a mezcal martini. I love it all. Give it all to me. Mezcal, mommy.
Courtney actually. When we used to do shoots not in the studio and we would do them at this restaurant rooftop place, they would always try to do, Courtney, and I don't know if you remember this, they would always try to make us feature a mezcal cocktail. And I'd be like, I can't do it. It makes me gag. So Courtney would always have to drink his cocktail and my cocktail because I could never do it.
A bright spot in my career at the old Holly, you know?
We did get to go to a rooftop and drink sometimes for work. You know what I mean? So we did have some positive memories. And obviously we were brought together, which is possibly the best thing ever.
It was destiny, I think.
No, we always say that. Like the universe, we were meant to be together. Like we were meant to be spilling the tea together. We were meant to be doing this. We were meant to find one another because I just can't picture it any other way.
Same, Maddison. I think that sometimes when two specific energies come and cross paths with each other, it is just something that is dynamite, to throw back to the 70s. And it's something that just can't be duplicated and replicated. The girlies have tried, they have failed. And you know what, Maddison?
What?
I think that's a good point to just get it started now. To be honest,
I think so too. I think so too. The best thing about this podcast is we're going to be breaking down big celebrity stories from the week, things that Courtney wants to talk about, things that I want to talk about. And so it'll just be a nice little thing for you to kind of get caught up on all the celebrity tea that you might have missed or that we didn't discuss individually on our own channels. And I feel like that's what's going to make this perfect. It's going to be the perfect thing y'all need to go into your weekend. Like, what did I miss this week? What were the big stories? Because Courtney and I never want y'all to be somewhere on the weekend and someone brings something up and you're like, wait, what happened? I never want that to be you.
We're going to keep you all in the know. Okay.
Exactly. Okay, Courtney, let's go ahead and kick it off. And you know what? It only feels right that our first story, we're going to cheers, but I just have to say it only feels right. The celebrity we're covering for our first story, for the first episode of this podcast. We have a long-standing history with her. We love her. Her fans protected us when we got cyberbullied by Cardi B. This really feels full circle for me. I don't know about for you.
And you know what, Maddison, you already know this particular person is basically my favorite celebrity anyway. So I will never object to talking about the queen of rap.
Never going to be mad when she's on the docket. Basically.
Ever. Never, ever. We love Nicki Minaj.
We love her. Okay, cheers, Courtney. Let's go ahead and get this started.
Cheers.
See, guys, we're being professional for the first episode. We're hydrating. We're professionally hydrating.
Come on.
And then it'll get messy, obviously, as the weeks go on. But that's fine.
It's natural.
Okay, Courtney. Nicki Minaj, she is on the cover of Vogue's December 2023 issue. How obsessed are you with her shoot? Because she looks stunning.
Maddison Hill, let me tell you something. Nicki Minaj is a prophetess. She is a genius writer, and she is a style icon to me. She had tweeted to the Barbs the other night that she had a huge surprise coming at 8 a.m. One of the Barbs was like, well, we know that Vogue always announces their covers at 8 a.m. What if it's Vogue? What if it's Vogue? Oh my God. And lo and behold, we have Nicki, we have Papa Bear, we have high fashion looks, we have a great article, insight, tea. I love the cover. I love the article, and it's always nice to get a little bit more insight into an artist's life, or a period of time in their life. What
Yeah,
did you?
absolutely. I also loved her 73 questions. I was dying because the guy who does the 73 questions was like, the Barbs have been begging for it. And she was like, I know. Because I'm like, you can never deny the Barbs. Like, that's just a fan base that it's going to happen. Like, Barbs, Swifties, just go ahead and give in. You're never going to win against them. You know what I mean? So I feel like my favorite part was the 73 questions because I feel like I learned things about Nicki Minaj that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that she used to work at Red Lobster. I didn't know she sold fire extinguishers at one point. And I feel like another point that I really loved is he said, 10 years ago, you said in 10 years you would be married and have a baby. And here we are. You're married and you have a baby. And I just feel like that is the power of manifestation right before our eyes. And I feel like when Nicki said that, everyone was like, oh, okay, yeah, right. You're going to be a mother and a mother and a wife in 10 years. Sounds good. But look at her. She proved you can have it all.
Maddison, I think you said something that is perfect. Nicki Minaj proves that you can truly have it all. You can have the career, you can have the family, you can have the love. Because some people have families without the love, the romance, the heat, the passion. So I love that Nicki stands for those things. She did not go to college, but one thing that Nicki has always instilled in the fan base is girl, you need to go to school. You need to go and get your degree. Nicki pays for some of the Barbs to go to school. I just like her, man.
I know. She's a
great.
good person. Good person, good human. And speaking of her relationships and love, I feel like one of the really big things that people are taking away from her interview with Vogue is what she mentioned about her marriage to Kenneth Petty. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Kenneth Petty, he has gotten a bad rap since him and Nicki got together. Now, they are technically high school sweethearts. They went to high school together. They lost touch. They reconnected in 2018, got married in 2019, had a baby in 2020. Kenneth has had his run-ins with the law, but he served his time. He has always owned up to his actions. He has always faced his consequences head on, which is why Courtney and I have never totally just dragged this man like other people, because he knows he did things wrong and he did the time, and he's still doing the time. Remember, he had that thing in Beverly Hills, driving without a license.
Absolutely.
He is doing what he needs to do. But I feel like I'm so happy that Nicki Minaj opened up about her marriage, because I think people need insight into the love between them, and also the fact that they have normal relationship problems like everyone else. You guys, she admitted in this Vogue interview that, when they had their son, who they only publicly refer to as Papa Bear, which I think is freaking cute.
I love it.
She said that things between them got testy, but she knew that they would be okay because of how long they've known one another. And I feel like a lot of parents can probably relate to that. I imagine maybe that even first year, 2 years has to be a tense and testy situation. No one's sleeping. You have this new little human who's crying and needs your attention 24/7. So I feel like that was very relatable of Nicki to admit, honestly.
Maddison, let me tell you something. Shout out to all the parents out there, because when I tell you I am so selfish, I wake up and I think about me and what I'm going to do and the decisions that I'm going to make and how I'm going to take care of me. And to be a parent, you have to be on such another level of selflessness that although I do want my own children one day, it's such the level of selflessness, I can't even begin to mentally slip my Cinderella foot into the slipper in,
Yeah. Oh, I think about my mom and I'm like, Mama Hill, it puts herself last. And even when we try to force her to push herself first, because my sister and I, we're 30 and 27. Mama Hill should be first. She's still just her level of selflessness and generosity. I'm always like, I hope I can be half the mother. You know what I mean? And it's just, and I know your mom's the same way. We're both super close with our moms, super close with our families, which is another reason why we get along. But I just totally felt like her comments about parenthood, I'm sure people would relate to on every level. She also made a comment about how there's no such thing as confidence in parenthood because you're constantly asking, like, am I doing the right thing? I don't know. And I feel like that's so relatable. Again, I'm not a parent yet, but I feel like that's exactly how I'll feel. Like, how do you know if you're doing the right thing? You're just trying to do your best every single day.
And especially as a first-time parent, right? Things are always a little bit different when you have like a child and you kind of like learn here or there. And then with the second child, you may be a little bit different depending. This is like Nicki and Kenny's first child.
Where's
And
the bae?
you don't know. You just don't know. And you don't ever want to be, there's like the extra, I imagine, right? The extra level of anxiety of being a parent, but also an A-list superstar celebrity parent. Anything gets out about Papa Bear, immediately the whole world is going to come with their harshest opinions of you as a mother, because you're not just a mother. You're not just a celebrity. You're Nicki Minaj. You're that girl. So, you know, shout out to all the parents that have their own levels of anxieties and push through that, you know?
Exactly. And you know what? I even hate that we live in a world where people have enough chutzpah to comment on somebody's child on social media.
I agree.
Paris Hilton knows that all too well when people were talking about how her baby had a big head.
So what? You had a big head too.
I know. I'm like, I love how we all think that we just looked perfect in our first photos. Like, first of all, I was strawberry blonde when I came out of the womb. And aren't we all happy that that obviously ended up not being the thing? You know what I mean? Like, none of us were 10s out of 10s. I can't imagine the pressure. And I do feel like, I'm sure the difference between like coming for a Paris Hilton and a Nicki Minaj, well, I don't know. Paris Hilton fans are pretty savage too. But I feel like you say one thing about Papa Bear, the barbs are going to be on your neck. And I'm going to be clapping them on the whole way because I think that's such like crossing the line. It's not even funny.
Girl, you know the barbs are still trying to find the person that swatted Nicki Minaj, girl.
And
you know she was swatted recently, right? And they have like the picture of the woman, but the barbs are like on this man.
Oh, they will find
to find this lady. Oh Lord,
they will find her. I do not doubt it. And you know what? Whatever happened, she made her bed. She must lie. You know?
Absolutely. Should have had a hobby.
Should have touched some grass. Should have touched some grass before calling 911.
Hello.
What are you gonna do? Okay, let's talk about someone else who I actually think needs to touch grass. Joe Jonas. Courtney, I can't with him.
What is he doing? You know how I feel about the Jonases.
I know, and I this is sad because our millennial hearts, our Disney Channel loving hearts, but he lately has been irritating me. You know, Sophie Turner was seen locking lips with the aristocrat.
Yes.
Was that last week? Yes. We're here for it. This man's family is worth like $224 million. I said, Sophie, get it, girl. Well, now Joe Jonas thinks he has room to be reacting to the situation. And I just want to read you some of these quotes from this report from the Daily Mail. Because Joe Jonas thinks that it's too soon for Sophie to be dating and moving on. And these quotes are just giving me the ick on about a million different levels. So this source told the Daily Mail that Joe would, quote, be happy to find love again and do all of that. But it's not even close to what is on the top of his mind, as he wants to get on with the divorce and get on with his life. And if Sophie wants to gallivant and kiss whomever in public, he doesn't really want to play those games.
Your friends talk to your friends, talk to my friends, talk to me. He couldn't pick up the phone and say that. Like, why are we in the news with this? I don't know. Joeisha, why he couldn't pick up the phone and call Sophie himself and say, you know what, do what you gotta do, because I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But you know, I'm not even thinking about doing all that because I'm thinking about being parent and doing me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why does a source have to come out? Why does a rep have to come? Like, why does it have to go this far?
I also don't know why Joe Jonas, and you're the PR master, so maybe you can give me some insight. Who on his team is thinking that it's a good idea to continue to try to drag Sophie Turner through the mud? I'm like, we did this when the news of the divorce broke, and it backfired massively. Why are you trying to do this again by being like, if she wants to go gallivant and kiss whoever, like, Joe's just focused on himself and his children. Once again, just this upstanding man. We already know this is a bad idea. This is a bad plan. Why are they still going with it?
My thing is, at the end of the day, put all of that stuff to the side, right? Your kids will grow up and read these things in the news. So why are you even feeling like, how you said, why does he feel like he needs to respond to this? Why are you trying to paint this children's mother as being a bad mother? That's what I don't like. Don't paint her out to be a bad mother just because she's moving on. It comes across as bitter, you know?
Yes. Also, I'm like, let's not forget, Sophie Turner's 27 years old.
Mm.
She got with Joe very young, already has 2 kids. I think if she wants to go blow off a little steam with an aristocrat, more power mother effing to her.
I agree.
And there's
I
also
like it.
rumors that Brittany Mahomes wants to set her up with one of Travis Kelce's friends, and you know I'm also here for that. I'm like, you know what, Sophie? Go with an NFL player, go with the aristocrat. Whatever makes you happy and just really makes Joe Jonas upset, I'm here for her doing that.
Maddison, you funny as hell. Here's the thing. You know I love the Jonas Brothers. You know I love little Nicki Jonas, but I don't like how Joe is going about this divorce. It just makes him look very weak and like a weak, bitter man. I think we could feel a lot better about the situation if he just sort of let her go and do her thing. And then if he was really just focused on his children, we would see him at, you know, the events with the kids. And then maybe 5 months down the line, we see him in a blurry paparazzi picture kissing in the alleyway.
Right.
But putting out a little sassy PR statement like this is weak.
I can't. Especially because the last time we saw him parenting his kids, he had the nanny with him. I'm like, sir can't even take the 2 kids to breakfast without the nanny. So let's go ahead and slow our rolls and stop acting like he's the father of the year, God's gift to earth. You know what I mean? It's like Tristan Thompson being the #1 dad. Like, nobody's buying what you're selling.
I think that he needs to, for real, focus more so on his kids and another DNCE album. Otherwise, like, girl, you already know I'm gonna always bring it back to the music.
I know.
You doing all of this?
They're gonna work music into the conversation.
Like, girl, all of this with the kids, and you could be writing some good music.
I know. I know.
Bless him. Bless him.
Bless him. Bless him. But also bless Sophie Turner more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's got an aristocrat.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here for it. And maybe another Chiefs player. I will work the Kansas City Chiefs into the conversation anytime I possibly can. That's also something else. If you're new here, you should know. If the Kansas City Chiefs and Taylor Swift are remotely in the news at all, I will work them into conversation for as long as I can work it. Okay, you guys? I will work it as long as I can. But Courtney, let's talk about Timbaland and Britney Spears because I've purposely not texted you about this because I wanted to hear your opinion live on the podcast.
Madison.
So,
do you want to tell the story first?
Okay.
And then
So Timbaland, as you guys know, he's worked with Justin Timberlake, so we can obviously already put 2 and 2 together on whose side he might be on when it comes to Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Y'all know that Britney Spears has spilled a lot of tea about Justin Timberlake in her memoir. Tea that we have really been waiting for her time to share. And I feel like everything is warranted. She has the space to tell her story. She should tell her story. Anyway, Timbaland just made the worst comment when it comes to Britney Spears. He said, quote, "She's going crazy, right? I wanted to call and say, JT, you gotta put a muzzle on that girl." He said this live. He said this live with Missy. Live. Said that he should put a muzzle on Britney.
Madison, here's the thing. And we start with the good before we get into the bad, right?
That is, we try to do the positivity before we hit people with the big headline.
I'm going to extend my hand with a quality leather glove, and then I'm going to slap you with a bare hand with the other. Now, Timbaland is, I'm stupid, Madison. Timbaland, he's a legend. I can't discount that. But so is R. Kelly. Now, Timbaland sat his behind up there, Madison, in interviews and admitted to being in love with a 15-year-old Aaliyah. So it just seems to me that the only person that needs a muzzle is Timbaland. I don't know what possessed this man to do anything that was not on TikTok Live. Because that seems to be the only thing about his career that I hear is when I'm scrolling through my For You page.
The last time Timbaland put out anything.
He's always on TikTok Live. I don't like this comment. I don't like any of the negative comments celebrities have been making about Britney Spears in regards to this book, but that one in particular stung because it's like you should be the one that tells Justin, hey man, you should be the one to cool it. It's not a good look, you know?
Exactly. I just think the whole comment was so bad, especially given everything that obviously Britney Spears has been through. And I'm not saying she's perfect, okay, you guys? She's not perfect. She posts questionable things sometimes. She sometimes like comes for women out of left field, and we're like, oh, we don't do that in 2023. Like, eek. I'm not saying she's perfect, but I'm saying for someone who has not put anything out in absolute years, and that's not shade. You guys know 2000s hip hop is like my genre. Like I live and breathe for 2000s hip hop, which was his era. But to say a muzzle just like sounds bad on like 1,001 different levels.
Is that considered misogyny, Maddison? I think so. Because I feel
like it's definitely a misogynistic comment, because it's like, well, Justin should feel free to be able to tell his story and to push his narrative and say whatever he wants. But Britney speaks out for the first time in 20 years, put a muzzle on her. You know,
and that sounds like he's calling her a female dog.
Mm-hmm.
When you use words like muzzle specifically, he could have said, I wish she would have just remained silent, girl. Anything she say will be used against her. He could have made it into a little hee hee ha ha. White socks with shiny black shoes. I don't understand why he had to say muzzle. That's the part that really.
Yeah, he really should have just been like, you know what, JT's going through it, but I know he'll come out on the other side. Like Lance Bass. Lance Bass has been Lance Bass is like, thank God, people want to ask me about Justin Timberlake and NSYNC. I will speak to anyone who wants to talk to me. And he always
literally. He said, even if I get lashed for saying we should forgive Justin because Britney has already, girl, I'm gonna take this interview.
Exactly. He goes, my name's in the headlines. I'm living for it.
Shout out to you, Lance. You better stay in that good move, Lance.
Literally. You know what? Keep being BFFs with Lisa Vanderpump. I live for it. But also maybe educate Timbaland on what you should be doing. Now, he did try to apologize, and his apologize was watered down at best, but I'll still let everyone know what he said just so y'all know. So he said, quote, I'm sorry to all the Britney fans, even to her. Oh, okay. Thank God you added her into the apology. If she never saw the I'm sorry because muzzle was no. You have a voice and you speak what you want to speak. Who am I to tell you when not to speak? And I was wrong for saying that, but I hope you see it from, I was looking at it from a different lens, aka from a Team Timberlake lens. I apologize to the Britney fans and her, and yes, you know, about respecting women. Hell yeah.
Timbaland, shut your mouth and read that damn magazine, girl, to quote Tiffany Pollard, period. Because no one needed that 2-penny apology.
I feel like it was not, I don't even know if it was an apology. He's basically saying like, sorry, not sorry, is what I, like the stuttering, the moving around. I'm like, you're basically saying, oop, I got caught for saying something that was disrespectful to women. And now some people are upset. So I'm just going to do my best to try to hope people forget about it. And it's like, that really wasn't it. Maybe we should have contacted our publicist if we still have one.
Maddison, Timbaland worrying about Britney Spears instead of worrying why that Justin Timberlake, Nelly Furtado feature did not chart. That's what he needs to worry about, and not Britney Spears. Because do you know what the name of the song is, Maddison?
I was actually trying to remember because I was like, what was the song? That was the intro. Ain't got no money.
No, Maddison. I'm talking about Nelly Furtado, Timbaland, and Justin Timberlake put out a song this year. Can you tell me the name of it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all hear that? That was genuine surprise because Maddison didn't know nothing about it.
That really was not me actually trying to be shady. Like I legitimately did not even know.
She said, "Oh."
I thought you were talking about what is that? Why can't you think of
that? Was the
I ain't got no money.
That's Carrie Hilson, Maddison. Damn it.
No, there isn't. Oh my God, I'm Googling.
Maybe if you cause I like you just the way.
No, different song.
Oh, you talking about Promiscuous Girl?
Is that what I'm talking about? What's the Justin Timberlake and Timbaland song that's really
Promiscuous
popular?
Girl and Give It To Me, Give It To Me, Give It
To
Me.
Give It To Me.
Yeah, my body.
Yeah, here we go. That's what I was trying to sing, but I was singing Promiscuous Girl by Nelly Furtado. So either way, didn't know Timbaland, Nelly Furtado, and Justin Timberlake did anything this year. So joke's on me.
No, joke's on him.
That's
because
true.
Timbaland, you gotta do something, and not this.
Yeah, no, it's not it. It's not it. Should we move on and talk about Bianca Censori and Kim Kardashian? Because I feel like a little car gender tea time is necessary on every episode.
Yes, for all time's sake. You know, I love a Kardashian moment.
I do too. And this story, I'm actually kind of living for it. So,
Wait, Maddison, before we get started, who's your favorite Kard Jenner?
my favorite Kard Jenner, well, I feel like it changes all the time. I feel like right now, my favorite Kard Jenner is Penelope because, which I know she's not technically a Kard Jenner, but she is the only one who holds Tristan Thompson accountable. So for that reason, she has gone up to number 1 on my mother effing list. And she also told Scott Disick he needs to not date somebody who's 19 because he's 40. So because she is the one serving the reality check for these people, I'm saying Penelope, but it does change on a daily basis. But for right now, I mean, the fact that a child has to be the one who says, why are we forgiving this man? Wild. But that's what's happening.
I agree with that. That's... Ooh, I'm going to say Kylie just because I've always liked Kylie, obviously. And I want her to eventually run into the sunset, have her farm, and leave all of this behind, and just be a wealthy farmer gal, grow some carrots.
What do you think about her clothing line, Kai?
No. But I will try.
That was so polite. That was really
no. I saw, you know.
It's very interesting how she's marketing it, like doing these drops and then you can never get them again.
Is that how she's doing it? Like limited edition pieces?
That's what it seems like. It's like drop 1, drop 2.
She thought this was Ivy Park.
3, 4, yeah.
You know, I will say this, not so related to Kylie, but I will try a skim when skim comes in colors. I know they're doing like the brown, white, gray, girl.
Yeah, now they got the men's.
Yeah, I'm curious, but I'm not like frothing at the mouth for it. Like there are like some men that are like must have skims. I'm like, but when she comes out with like a teal, purple, then okay, Kim, you might get my point. Or send me a PR package, girl, honestly.
Britney Mahomes, Taylor's new bestie, doing a holiday ad for Skims isn't making you want to get your credit card out and buy?
No, but let me tell you this, Maddison. Girl, I hope that I'm wrong. I don't think that we're far off from a Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift reconciliation or a Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift something. And I know we hate to hear it. I know y'all
I don't like to hear that. Dude, you can't see for those that are not watching this and you're listening to it, I'm snarling my nose and my nostrils, and I have really big nostrils. It's always been a thing. One of my insecurities. But I'm bitter. You don't think Taylor wouldn't bring the Reputation era full circle when this next re-record comes out? Because Rep is probably next. No, Rep is definitely 1000% next for sure. She's gonna make us wait for debut as country girlies. Me being a country girly, I do think she will give us the full circle moment. But my issue is I need to hear Kim Kardashian publicly apologize, or else I'm not gonna let it go. Because I think the only reason why Kim Kardashian has her tail between her legs now is because she has children. And I think now that she's a mother, she realizes, ooh, you know what? Being a petty grown woman who is messing with a young woman and completely blew her life up, I would be really hurt if somebody did that to North, or if somebody did that to Chicago, or one of her sons, obviously, as well. So I think she has a new perspective on it, which is why she tries to always do these like kind of like fun, cutesy things like, oh, like I'm going to post myself in a purple dress and post it with a song from Taylor's album. Or I'm going to have her bestie, her new bestie, do a Skims ad. And it's like all this like kind of like hee-hee commentary. But I'm like, no, so sorry. You tried to ruin this girl's life. Yeah. I need an apology before I see you starring in her music video.
Hey, Maddison, honestly, I can't disagree with that. Like I said, I didn't say it, but I have said in the past, I remember exactly where I was the second, like the phone call stuff, Kim tweeting the snake emojis. I remember exactly where I was. It was a very impactful moment as a fan, but like I could only imagine what it did to her. So, hey, I agree. I think it would be beautiful to have that sort of moment, just to sort of put it all to bed. Oh, she's not even with Kanye anymore. So it's like,
and I do think that it needs to be put to bed once and for all. And truthfully, do I think Taylor even thinks about Kim Kardashian? No. I think she could give 2 Fs about what Kim Kardashian is doing. I don't think she sees any of the little like things on social media. I just think like for the public, we need to see Like, we need to see Kim do penance for what
Especially because Taylor is such a winner in public perception these days.
Yes.
Back then, it was easy to kind of jump on her and say, well, F her. She dates men all the time and writes music about men all the time, and we hate her. But now it's like, oh, girl, Taylor Swift, we knew she was that girl, but now the public has kind of come around.
Yes, finally. And again, anyone who doesn't see it doesn't have taste. And unfortunately, we live in a world where not everyone has taste. And
Yes, ma'am.
Courtney and I have, it's hard for us to swallow that, but that's just sometimes how it is. It's just how it is. I don't know. I also, I need an apology, I think, first before I can feel really good about it. I think that's also like the Taurus in me. You know what I mean? It's like,
same.
We're loyal and you mess with our girl. And although we don't know Taylor yet, which we will one day, because she will love us. I know. She'll want to hang out with us. We'll be in her squad. But I do feel personally attacked. Like, who feels personally attacked by Regina George? Who feels personally attacked by Kim Kardashian through Taylor Swift? Me. And if you don't think that Taylor was actually affected by that, please go watch Miss Americana on Netflix and educate yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
You think she's gonna apologize to Bianca? Yanka? I call her Yanka.
Yeah. Back to Yanka. Because we went on y'all know, we're on a road. Courtney and I will be on a road, and we veer right, we veer left. And then we always find our way back.
Always.
We always find our way back. But you guys, Miss Bianca is upset with Kim because Kim, on the most recent episode of The Kardashians, was kind of venting to Courtney. Fair. Talking about how North comes to her and says that she likes being at Kanye's better because there's no nannies, there's no chef, they live in an apartment, there's no security. And Bianca is just not happy about it. She does not like how Kim was portraying her and Kanye's life on The Kardashians. And a source told the Daily Mail, quote, Bianca thinks it was quite tacky of Kim to divulge this information on the Kardashians. And by doing so, she was actually putting her kids' safety in jeopardy. The public doesn't need to know that their kids would be without protection at any time. She just wants Kim to stop talking about her husband Kanye in a negative light to try and make herself look better. Is that what Kim was doing?
I honestly, truly think that Kim was just venting. Honestly.
I do too.
It's one of those things where Kim should, and this is, I'm not a parent, but if I was, I might say, North, go live with your daddy 30 days and see what that's like. You're gonna walk around wearing a KFC sandwich every day as your clothes, and a rubber bucket on your head.
What are those?
I don't think that Kim meant any harm, but Bianca does have a point about the security. I don't think that we should know that her and Kanye don't have security, girl. That says come and pull a Paris on me. You know how they have Kim looking crazy in Paris. And I don't like that part, but I don't think that Kim, obviously she wouldn't try to intentionally put her own kids like in harm's way. I don't think that she thought anything of it like that, truthfully.
No, I think so too. I think she was venting and probably said like one too many things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once the ball started rolling, she just like kept word vomiting. And I agree. I think the security thing, that is the one part that I'm like, ooh, Kim, ouch, not good. Also the shady comment of like, that's so awesome that you eat ramen. Like that had a little,
it wasn't the nicest.
That had a little connotation under it. But I do think as a parent, it would be frustrating if you're the one who is there 90% of the time and you're there in the non-fun times to constantly hear about how much fun the other parent is. Like, I do think that would be a frustrating place to be. And I understand Bianca, she's going to come for she's going to defend Kanye no matter what. And I've read some things about their relationship about how like have you seen this? Like how he allegedly has like rules for her of like when she can respond to people, when she can't respond to people, what she should be wearing, what she needs to eat and go work out. So like it's hard for me too sometimes because I just feel like Bianca and Kanye have a very interesting relationship. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And Maddison, this may be inappropriate, but this is the reality of the situation, right? I know North meant no harm by her comments that, my daddy doesn't have da-da-da, and like, I would rather go live with my dad and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. What do you mean you don't have an apartment? But it's like, it's unfortunate that North idolizes Kanye so much. In my mind, immediately goes back to Kanye at the Trump rally saying, why didn't I get rid of my daughter? Or like, remember he had said something to that effect?
Oh, he fully talked about how him and Kim had conversations about having an abortion when she found out she was pregnant. And that was horrible.
That stings. And I shudder at the thought of North coming across that footage one day when, you know, she says things, you know, my father has the, and it's like, you know, I have mixed feelings.
Yes. I also think too, whenever she's like, oh, the apartment, I'm like, I feel like when you say an apartment, people have a very like a vision in their head. And I'm like, let's also call it like it is. It's not like Kanye West is living in a one bed.
Yeah, like, girl.
It's like, he is in a multi-million-dollar
I done seen Drake's apartment before, and that don't look like no
in West Hollywood. So I also think too, it's like perception is everything. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, ma'am.
But I agree with you. I do think, and I've thought this a lot when it comes to a lot of the Kar Jenner kids. You and I have talked about this a lot. Like, the things they're going to read one day and the things they're going to see one day, it kills me. Because
it's unfortunate.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I do think, you know, I think right now, North is very like, my dad is the greatest thing that's ever happened. And I think she'll always believe that because it's her dad. Absolutely. But I do think she will maybe appreciate Kim more as she gets older. Like, I think their relationship will change as she gets older. I've seen a lot, like, even I've seen friends do that, where it's like, it was hard for them and their relationship with their parents when they were younger, but now as adults, things have really changed and you understand why your parents did certain things as you become an adult. And I feel like that's probably going to be more of North and Kim's relationship. I think they have a great relationship. I think Kim is a great mom. I think Kim does the best that she can. And so I'm not saying like, oh, it's not good now. I'm just saying I think North herself will have a different perspective on Kim as she gets older. Because right now, she sees dad as having the cool place with no rules, where we get to make a mess in the kitchen and cook, and we get to kind of do whatever we want because it's fun time all the time. That's super cool right now. And obviously she sees mom as like the rule parent and the one who's the disciplinarian and the one where there's, you know, things that need to be done. I do think that will, you know, she'll realize it all. I just think right now in Kim's state, you know, she's got to vent to Courtney. Like, I'm annoyed that I'm doing all this. I'm breaking my back and my kids keep telling me I'm not any fun and Kanye is so much better. Like, that would hurt.
Yeah. Especially as an adult, knowing how Kanye behaves and the things that he said.
And because Kim does so much to make sure her kids never hear a negative thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, she is got their teachers together. She's got everyone in their life. Like, it's, you know, we keep the kids in a bubble of no negativity about Kanye. So to have that bubble too, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, I understand where Bianca's coming from, and I understand where Kim's coming from. I don't really think like you can pick a side in this situation.
Same. I'm glad that Bianca spoke out in a way because I didn't even realize the thought about the security. I do think that part of it was wrong. But also it's like, come on, this is a show about their lives, and we know that, you know, if it's fair game, it's fair game. And I think that Kim has done a really good job of sort of being respectful about Kanye's behavior while still being able to clue us in on exactly what's happening.
No, absolutely, 1000%. Could not agree more. Could not agree more.
Maddison!
Oh God, the singing starting. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
I'm so sorry. So I'm already apologizing. Okay, Courtney, should we go ahead and wrap things up with our segment, Put It in the Teapot? Do you want to tell everyone what that is?
Yes, ma'am. So this is a segment of Toast to Tea called Put It in the Teapot, where we're each going to set a timer. Well, one of us is going to set a timer on our phones for 90 seconds. The other will pick a topic to go off about and just get it off your chest and put it in the teapot, period.
Okay. Do you want to let me get my stopwatch pulled up?
Okay.
90 seconds or 30 seconds?
60 seconds.
60 seconds. Oh, did I?
Let's do 60
seconds. You're going to go first. Ready? 3, 2, go.
You guys, I'm seriously trying to figure out if cancel culture is real or not, because we say that we have canceled Doja Cat, right? And let me tell you something. 2 hours before her show last week, I got myself up off that couch and bought a ticket to the show. It was very cheap. 90% of my row was empty, but the other seats in the stadiums were filled, packed, and the audience knew every single word. So are y'all just being fake online to impress your followers, or do y'all secretly play Doja Cat in the closet? That's something that I need to know, because someone has to be paying all of the money for these tickets for her tour to be completely sold out, during her show in LA. Excellent performer, excellent vocals. I understand that she's problematic, but I think that Doja Cat has reached a point in her career where she is, in fact, uncancelable. Because if she were able to be canceled, people wouldn't be here. And it's pretty interesting how Twitter is saying she's over, but in real life, Doja Cat is still that girl, period.
Woo! You did that. That was 60 seconds.
Just what? I used to have to do extemporaneous. I used to have to do extemporaneous speeches in high school.
Oh my god! Wow, you really slayed that. Really.
I had feelings.
And honestly, I have also been wondering about Doja Cat, because I feel like ever since she made those mean comments about her fans, I was wondering who was showing up to her shows. So,
girl, it was packed out. It was packed out.
Okay, so they don't care.
Girl, they don't care. Only on Twitter they care. And we've learned online hate is not exactly always real. Do you want me to start the timer for you?
Okay, yes. Okay, yes.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, the thing that I want to put in the teapot is all of these reports about Taylor Swift's friends not being here for her and Travis Kelce. I am beyond irritated by this, because I think Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are a match made in heaven, because my girl Taylor, you know what? At the end of the day, she's a small town girly. Pennsylvania, Tennessee, she loves a small town situation. Travis Kelce, he's a Midwesterner from Ohio, good family man. He is also a man's compared to Joe Alwyn and Maddie Healy. They are meant to be. So all of these reports that are trying to be messy about Selena Gomez being concerned, there's a new one about Gigi Hadid also thinking she's doing too much too soon. Do we think these women would be thinking that Taylor is doing too much too soon while also hanging out with Taylor Swift and all of the wags from the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think so. That makes absolutely no sense. Why can't we let our girl be happy? She is finally with somebody who is secure in himself and his career and in his bag. And he is finally an equal partner, and I just need everyone to please leave them alone, because we love, okay?
Stop. You ate that, girl. Huh.
So we're putting any of the hate for Taylor and Travis in the teapot. Oh,
now, if y'all want to put it in the teapot, if you guys want to put it in the teapot, you can send us an email at toast2teapod@gmail.com, and that's toast2TEA pod@gmail.com, and maybe we'll read one of yours in a future episode, or you guys can pick the topic, whichever you choose.
Yeah. And also it can be something personal too. Like we did it celebrity related for our first episode, but if you want to put something going on in your life in the teapot, you want to put a toxic person in the teapot, you want to put an embarrassing moment in the teapot, whatever y'all want to put in the teapot, email us. We'll read it out loud, and we're just going to have some fun, you guys. This was Courtney. We just did our first episode of Toast.
Oh my God. How do you feel, Maddison? Because I feel very accomplished.
I feel like I didn't even work, honestly. I don't know. I feel like I feel like we were at happy hour or on a FaceTime, and we were just talking as we normally do. So honestly, I feel great. It didn't even feel like any work in the slightest.
Maddison, it truly has been an honor to toast to tea with you for our very first episode. And thank you to everyone that has made it this far. Y'all are giving us a shot. We are consistent. We will be here for you to deliver the hot tea. And we're just excited to get back to spilling the tea the only way that we know how.
Yes, you guys, please make sure you're following our Instagram account at ToastedTeaPod. You can also find us on TikTok and on YouTube. We'll make sure to link everything in this description box. You can also follow me on social media at I am Maddison Hill with 2 Ds. And Courtney?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram at Courtney Revolution and on Twitter and TikTok at Court Revolution. And
yes.
We can't wait to see you.
Yes, please show our socials some love. Every week we will post this podcast to all of the places you guys listen to your podcast, and we'll also post it on YouTube. So make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're rating and reviewing. to help push us to the TOP top. Please.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And without further ado, we're going to do what it do and skedaddly who. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.